Hey, what's up guys, it's T-Bone here and welcome back to another episode of playing Legendary Game of Heroes. So we're now on day 1 of the event, Endless Torment, and in today's episode what I want to do is go over a couple of decks I've built that are a bit more budget friendly, and I'm also going to showcase the deck that I'm currently running. I didn't actually use a lot of gems, I only spent the gems to go up to tier 4 at the main pack, but I'm already dealing pretty good damage, so I'll definitely be showcasing that. And now there's also a new news feed here for a legendary challenge. We're not going to go into that today, but I'm going to cover that in an upcoming episode. So let's take a look at the decks now. But first, before we actually do that, I wanted to call your attention to some very important change, and that is the support hero change that's called out in the news feed. You're no longer going to be able to get multiple copies of the support card for free. You're only going to be able to get one now. Even though it's going to be more powerful like the stats I used to have, now you can only get one. And the place that you'll be able to get them is through the 5-star collection area. And you'll notice that you're no longer going to be able to see them anymore in the Underworld collection area. So that's something to keep in mind. And now, let's go ahead and take a look at the decks. For this team, I'm bringing in 1 support card, Baron Samedi, and 1 Soul Reaper. I also have 3 Nighthawks to support the team for both the health regeneration as well as gem spawning. And for relics, I'm bringing in 3 older god relics and 1 dark trend relic and 1 dark claymore that will apply to all dark units. So let's go ahead and take on a boss right now. So for most of these fights you're going to see, we're going to be going up against a level 249 guild boss. And the strategy in the beginning of the turns are going to be fairly similar in that you're going to try to match as many dark gems as possible to fill up the battle skill, and using Samedi's passive that creates dark gems every time you attack to help you with that as well. Now once you have the battle skill filled up, you don't actually have to rush into activating everything right away, because you actually want to increase your intensity a little bit so that Nighthawks could actually fill up the board with more dark gems. I would say 80 intensity is about good enough, and so at this point you want to activate Soul Reaper first, followed by the Night Sun, so you can see that the power gems get created first and then the rest of the board gets filled up with dark gem. So going with this approach, on the first attack we're able to deal a total of 2.2 billion damage. And so after this, you'll notice that there are numbers above the Nighthawk. This tells you how many more turns they're going to passively generate dark gems. And so it works out well, because if the 3-turn cooldown, you can wait until the number goes down to 1 before knowing that you have to start the next attack. Now during this time, what's nice is you can also start building up power gem 4s on the board so that you can use it for your next attack. And we're going to rinse and repeat here. We're going to go ahead and activate Soul Reaper followed by Nighthawk. And then at this point, do the swap using the power gem 4 and the power gem 2 to increase the total damage that you'll be able to deal. And with that, we're able to bump our damage up to 3 billion and we can easily take out the boss. For this deck, I'm actually going to take advantage of Sobek, which was one of the collection cards that we had in the past. At 6 stars, this card can generate a power gem 3, as well as doubling it if there are 8 or more dark gems on the board. So this will really help boost the damage of the team, using Nighthawks as the gem generator and enabling Soul Reaper as well as Baron Samedi to deal a lot of damage. So let's take a look at that deck in action right now. Now, since this particular deck plays the same way as the previous one I just showed, I skipped ahead a little bit. Having 1 less Nighthawk means that I needed to spend a little bit more time to build up intensity, but I'm able to deal enough damage and I can actually take out the boss in a single hit. So I've activated all of my power gems and I've activated all my skills, and now I was able to build my total multiplier to 25 times for a total of 3.2 billion damage. This is the deck I'm currently using. I have 2 Soul Reapers. One of them I got tier 4 in the main pack, and then the second one I got from the 5-star collection. I'm also using Baron Samedi as the leader, and for the cards that can power up the whole team, I'm using Wasteland Spectre. I have 2 copies of these cards. Each of these cards will create 2 power gem 4s, and so I'm able to power the team within turn 2. For the relics, I'm using 4 god relics total, but one of them is an older one that does not generate intensity. It is a dark god relic, so I'm able to get more gems on the first turn, and I'm also using a dark relic for honor cards. So let's take a look at this deck. I'm going to use this in a couple of different bosses so we can see it in action. So for this fight, we're going to be going up against a level 249 guild boss, but this time we're only using one key. And so we need to make sure that we can fill up the battle skill, but with the 2 relics that we have here, that's not going to be an issue. So once we fill up the battle skills, we're going to activate everything from right to left. So we're going to activate the Wasteland Spectre's battle skills first, and then we're going to activate Someti, followed by the 2 Soul Reapers. And then we do a power gem swap using the power gem 4 and 1, and we can deal a total damage of 6.2 billion, easily taking out the guild boss in one fight. Next, we're actually going to go up against Rilka, which is a Cobalt boss. Now this one is not an eternal, it's a regular boss, so it has a 20-second timer. The gameplay is pretty much the same though, and so what you want to do is again activate everything in order from right to left so that you can power up a Soul Reaper, and this is using 3 keys by the way. So now we match a Power Gem 4 and Power Gem 3 for a total of 38.2 billion to start. And we're going to fast forward a little bit. You can see that we get hit by dodge. And so what you can see here is even though I can actually activate all of my battle skills for Soul Reaper, I actually wait one more turn so that I can get more power gems on the board, and 2, I don't actually lose the attack I can deal with my team, because dodge is something that I don't have a counter for, and so I can actually deal more damage, and this time I was able to hit it for 89 billion. Now moving further along to near the end here, you can see that we're close to taking out the boss, and so finally do the same thing again, match everything, and this time we're going to be able to deal a total of 64 billion for an entire 208 billion damage against the boss and taking out easily. When I'm going up against kobolds that have a lot of health, I find that I actually don't have enough heal from the Soul Reapers themselves. And so in order to survive, I bring in a Wicked Queen, and because I'm bringing in 1 extra card, I had to drop one of the Wasteland Specters, but I can still make it work, and so I'm going to show you how that works. So we're going to be going up against a level 249 Kobold guild boss, and the health for this boss is 577 billion. So you can see with this particular setup, with only a single Wasteland Spectre, I can't power up everything right away, and so I first activate his battle skill first, and then I wait one more turn because his battle skill will actually generate Power Gem 2s over a course of 2 turns. So now that he created the second set of Power Gem 4s, then I go ahead and activate everything, and I can deal a total of 29.1 billion damage. Now what we're going to do is we're going to skip ahead a little bit after this, and we're going to go near the end and see how much total damage we're able to do, because this is basically the same mechanic that we go through throughout the entire fight. So at this point, we have been doing the same thing, and we activate everything, and we go ahead and do the Power Gem swap. And this time we're able to deal more damage for a total of 66 billion, and the total damage done to the boss was 308 billion. So as you can see, this particular event deck is really quite powerful as to be expected. Using just a single event card and a support card, pairing them up with 2 Nighthawks and a Sobek actually allowed me to deal pretty good damage, and in fact, pairing them up with any gem spawners really helped as well. And so, as you can see here, it allows me to build some pretty good budget decks, and I'm hoping that you have the cards I showed to help you with the deck damage. Unfortunately, I couldn't run multiple copies of the support card like I have in the previous events, because the only way to get a support card now for free is through the collection. And so that is a little unfortunate, because I would have liked to see a full deck using multiple copies of the support card, especially since they changed it to Warrior. That would have been a good opportunity to pair them up with other cards as well. So hopefully this has been useful for you. As always, thanks for watching, thanks for your feedback, and let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. And I will see you in the next episode. Take care.